Allison finds an old letter in her mailbox addressed to her missing sister Lily. It contains an encrypted note and a key to an unknown safe. This discovery throws her into a whirlwind of mystery, where the truth about her sister could cost her everything. Why did Lily disappear 3 years ago? And what is the man who follows Allison from the darkness hiding? Each step she takes brings her closer to the answers or to a danger from which there is no turning back. The Chicago autumn was in full swing, painting the streets with fiery hues of red and gold. Allison Carter, a 40-year-old high school history teacher, walked home from Lincoln Park High, her scarf fluttering in the crisp breeze. Her life had settled into a quiet rhythm since her sister Lily vanished 3 years ago. The police had called it a tragic accident, a car crash on a rain-slicked highway. Her body never recovered. Allison had learned to carry the grief, but it lingered like a shadow. At her modest brownstone in Logan Square, she rifled through the mailbox, expecting bills or flyers. Instead, her fingers brushed against a worn envelope. No stamp, no return address. Scrawled in black ink was a single word: Lily. Her breath caught. She tore it open, heart pounding. Inside was a folded note and a small, tarnished key. The note read, 42-17-89. Trust no one. She's closer than you think. No signature, just numbers and a cryptic warning. Allison's mind raced. Lily was gone, wasn't she? The crash had been so sudden, the details so vague. No body, no closure, just an empty funeral and a gravestone she couldn't bear to visit. She turned the key over in her hand, its edges cold and unfamiliar. Was this a cruel prank, or something more? Her sister had been a city planner at Chicago's City Hall, always buried in blueprints and meetings. Before she disappeared, Lily had seemed off, distracted, scared even. Allison had dismissed it as stress, but now doubt gnawed at her. She sank on her couch, the note trembling in her grip. The numbers, 42-17-89, could be a code, a combination, maybe a safe. But why now? And who left it? Her teenage daughter, Emma, wouldn't be home for hours, giving Allison time to think. She grabbed her phone and dialed Sarah, her old college friend and a reporter at the Chicago Tribune. If anyone could help unravel this, it was Sarah, with her knack for digging up truths others buried. "Allison, you okay?" Sarah's voice was warm, but edged with concern when she picked up. I don't know," Allison admitted, her voice shaky. She explained the letter, the key, the cryptic message. "It's about Lily. I thought she was gone, but this, Sarah, what if she's not?" Sarah paused, the silence heavy. "That's big. Can you meet me tonight? Bring everything. If this is real, we need to move carefully." They agreed to meet at a quiet diner on Clark Street, far from prying eyes. Allison tucked the note and key into her purse, her nerves jangling. As she stepped outside, the street felt different, too still, too watchful. A man lingered across the road, his face half hidden by a baseball cap. Was he looking at her? She shook it off, blaming her imagination, but the unease clung like damp fog. At the diner, Sarah was already waiting in a corner booth, her laptop open and a coffee steaming. Her sharp eyes softened when she saw Allison's pale face. "You look like you've seen a ghost," she said, sliding over to make room. "Maybe I have," Allison muttered, handing over the envelope. Sarah studied the note, her brow furrowing. "This key looks old, like it's for a safe or a lockbox," she said, turning it under the dim light. "And these numbers, definitely a combination. But the warning, trust no one, that's not random. Lily was working on something big at City Hall, right? Before she disappeared?" Allison nodded. She was overseeing a redevelopment project, some big deal in the South Loop. She mentioned it was messy, but she never gave details. Then she started acting strange, taking calls late at night, locking her office door. "I thought it was just work pressure." Sarah leaned forward, her voice low. "City Hall's a snake pit. I've heard whispers about kickbacks, shady contracts. If Lily stumbled onto something, like, say, corruption, she might have made enemies. Powerful ones. Enemies." Allison's stomach twisted. "You think someone hurt her? To keep her quiet?" "I'm saying it's possible," Sarah replied carefully. "No body, no evidence. Just a crash report that conveniently closed the case. And now this letter shows up? Someone's trying to tell you something, or lure you." Allison's throat tightened. "Lure me? What?" Sarah tapped the note. "Could be a trap. Or maybe Lily's alive, and this is her reaching out. Either way, we need to find that safe. If those numbers are a combination, it's our best lead. They brainstormed possibilities, a bank, a storage unit, maybe an office Lily used. Allison's mind flickered to her sister's old apartment, now rented out, but she kept a storage locker downtown for Lily's things. Could a key fit there? It was a long shot, but it was somewhere to start. As they left the diner, the night air felt heavier. Allison glanced over her shoulder, half expecting the man in the cap to reappear. The street was empty, but her pulse didn't slow. Back home, she found Emma sprawled on the couch, scrolling through her phone. "Mom, you're late," Emma said, glancing up. Her hazel eyes, so like Lily's, sharpened. "What's wrong? You look freaked out." Allison hesitated. Emma was only 15, too young to carry this burden. But she'd adored her aunt, and keeping secrets felt wrong. "I found something today," Allison began, choosing her words. "A letter about Aunt Lily. It's complicated, but I need to figure out what it means." Emma sat up, her phone forgotten. "About Aunt Lily? Like what happened to her?" "Mom, tell me." "Not yet," Allison said gently. "I need to be sure first. But I promise, I'll tell you everything when I know more." Emma frowned but nodded, sensing her mom's resolve. Allison kissed her forehead, then retreated to her room, the key heavy in her pocket. Sleep wouldn't come. She lay awake, replaying Lily's last days, her nervous glances, her cryptic comment about fixing a mistake. What had she meant? And why did that note feel like a warning and a plea? The next morning, Allison called in sick, something she rarely did. She drove to the storage facility near the loop, the key burning a hole in her purse. The place was a maze of concrete and steel, its fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. At Lily's locker, she hesitated, the numbers 42-17-89 etched in her mind. The key slid into the padlock with a soft click. Her heart sank. It didn't turn. The lock stayed stubbornly shut. She tried again, twisting harder, but nothing. Defeated, she leaned against the wall, frustration bubbling. If not here, then where? As she turned to leave, her phone buzzed. An unknown number. She answered, her voice wary. "Hello." No words, just breathing, slow and deliberate. Then a click as the line went dead. Allison froze, her skin prickling. She scanned the empty corridor, half expecting footsteps. Nothing. But the call wasn't random. It couldn't be. Someone knew she was digging. Back in her car, she called Sarah, her hands shaking. "I tried the storage locker. The key didn't work. And I just got a creepy call. No one spoke, just breathing." Sarah's tone sharpened. "That's not a coincidence. Someone's watching you, Allison. We need to be smarter about this. Meet me at my office. I've got a contact who can trace that call." As Allison drove, the city blurred past. Skyscrapers, honking cabs, the pulse of Chicago. But beneath it all, a darker current ran. Lily had uncovered something worth hiding, worth killing for. Allison gripped the wheel, resolve hardening. She wasn't just chasing a ghost. She was chasing justice. And no cryptic note, no shadowed figure would stop her. The Chicago Tribune newsroom buzzed with a clatter of keyboards and murmured phone calls. But Allison felt like she was underwater, the sounds muffled by her racing thoughts. She sat across from Sarah in a cluttered corner office, the mysterious note and key laid out on the desk like artifact from forgotten life. The cryptic call from yesterday still echoed in her mind, silent, menacing, a warning she couldn't ignore. Someone knew she was digging into Lily's disappearance, and they didn't like it. Sarah leaned back in her chair, her eyes scanning the note. 42-17-89. "Trust no one. She's closer than you think. I've got a guy who can trace that call," she said, tapping her pen against a notepad. "But this note, it's deliberate. Someone wants you to find something, or they're playing you. Either way, we need to crack those numbers." Allison nodded, her fingers brushing the key's tarnished surface. "I thought it was for Lily's storage locker, but it didn't fit. Maybe a safe? She worked at City Hall. Could it be there?" Sarah's brow furrowed. City Hall's a fortress. If Lily hid something, it'd be somewhere less obvious. She was smart, meticulous. Think back. Did she ever mention a place she felt safe? A hideout, an office, anything? Allison closed her eyes, sifting through memories. Lily had been a whirlwind, passionate about her city planning work, always sketching ideas for Chicago's future. But 3 years ago, in the weeks before she vanished, she'd changed. Secretive. She'd stopped inviting Allison over, taken to whispering on her phone. Once, over coffee, she'd let slip, "I made a mistake, Ollie." A big one. When pressed, she clammed up, her smile forced. Allison had let it go, assuming it was a work blunder. Now, that moment felt like a clue. She had a side project, Allison said slowly. Something about the South Loop redevelopment. She was excited at first, but then she got cagey. Said it was complicated, that people weren't who they seemed. Sarah's eyes lit up. That's it. The South Loop deal was a mess. Rumors of bribes, rigged contracts. I covered it tangentially. If Lily was involved, she might have seen something dirty. Maybe enough to make her a target. A target? Allison's voice wavered. The idea of Lily, her vibrant, idealistic sister, tangled in corruption, was hard to swallow. But the note, the key, the call, they pointed to something bigger than a car crash. Sarah grabbed her laptop, pulling up old articles. Look at this. The project was greenlit by a guy named Victor Crow, a big shot in the mayor's office. Smooth talker, lots of connections. My sources hinted he was skimming funds, but no one could prove it. If Lily had evidence... Allison's stomach churned. You think she found proof? And that's why she disappeared? It fits, Sarah said grimly. No body, a rushed police report, and now this note? Someone's covering tracks, or trying to reopen the case. Allison glanced at the key, her resolve hardening. Then we find that safe. If Lily left evidence, it's our only shot to know what happened. Sarah nodded, already typing. I'll dig into Crow's dealings. Meanwhile, let's brainstorm where that key might fit. Any old haunts Lily loved? A bank, a gym, a co-worker's place? Allison racked her brain. Lily had been a creature of habit, her life orbiting between City Hall, her Logan Square apartment, and a quirky coffee shop downtown where she'd sketch plans over lattes. But one memory stood out, a dusty office she'd rented for freelance work, a cheap space in a crumbling building near the Loop. Lily had called it her thinking spot, a place to escape City Hall's politics. Could the key be for that? There's an old office she used, Allison said, on Wabash above a print shop. She kept it quiet, said it was her sanctuary. Maybe the safe's there. Sarah grinned. That's our lead. Let's check it out tonight after hours. Less chance of being seen. The word seen sent a chill down Allison's spine. She hadn't told Sarah about the man in the baseball cap outside her house, dismissing it as paranoia. But now, every shadow felt like a threat. She pushed the fear aside. For Lily, she'd face whatever came. That evening, Allison told Emma she'd be working late, hating the half-truth. Emma, sprawled on her bed with headphones, raised an eyebrow. You're acting weird, Mom. Is this about Aunt Lily again? Allison hesitated. Emma deserved honesty, but not yet. Not until she had answers. Just tying up loose ends, sweetheart. I'll be home soon. Emma's gaze lingered, skeptical, but she shrugged. Be careful, okay? The word stuck with Allison as she drove to meet Sarah. The Loop was quiet at night, its skyscrapers looming like silent giants. The office building on Wabash was a relic, its facade chipped and faded. The print shop below was shuttered, its windows dark. Allison's heart thudded as they climbed the creaky stairs, the key heavy in her pocket. Lily's office was at the end of a dim hall, the door marked with a peeling Suite 3B. Allison tried the key in the lock, but didn't budge. Disappointment stung, another dead end. But Sarah, undeterred, jiggled the knob. To their shock, it was unlocked. Inside, the room was a time capsule. Dust coated Lily's desk, strewn with sketches of city layouts. A corkboard held pinned notes, their ink faded. Allison's chest tightened, her sister's life, frozen in time. Sarah beelined for a metal filing cabinet in the corner. If there's a safe, it's here. They searched, moving quietly, aware of the building's eerie silence. Allison's fingers brushed a hidden panel behind the cabinet. She pressed it, and with a soft click, it slid open, revealing a small wall safe. Her pulse surged. The key fit perfectly, turning with a satisfying clunk. Inside were a USB drive, a stack of documents, and a photo of Lily smiling at a City Hall event. Victor Crow at her side, his grin sharp as a blade. Sarah whistled softly. Jackpot. This could be what got her in trouble. Allison's hands trembled as she pocketed the USB and papers. What if it's proof? Proof she was set up? Before Sarah could answer, a floorboard creaked in the hall. They froze, eyes locked. Another creak, closer now. Someone was coming. Sarah grabbed Allison's arm, pulling her toward a closet. They slipped inside, hearts pounding as the door to the office swung open. Through a crack, Allison glimpsed a figure, tall, shadowed, moving with purpose. He rifled through Lily's desk, muttering under his breath. Her blood ran cold when he turned, his face catching the moonlight. It was the man in the baseball cap. He paused, as if sensing something, then left as quickly as he'd come. Sarah exhaled shakily. "We need to get out of here. Now." They waited, ears straining, before creeping out. The hall was empty, but Allison's skin prickled. Back in Sarah's car, she clutched the documents, her mind reeling. "He knew we were here. How?" Sarah's face was grim. "Someone's one step ahead. That USB, whatever's on it, it's dangerous. We need to see what's there, but not at your place. It's not safe." Allison nodded, fear mixing with defiance. The documents felt like a lifeline to Lily, and a fuse to something explosive. As they drove into the night, Chicago's lights blurred past, but Allison saw only her sister's face, urging her forward. Allison's hands still shook as she clutched the USB drive and documents from Lily's hidden safe, their weight heavier than mere paper and plastic. The shadowy figure in the Wabash office had vanished into the Chicago night, but his presence lingered like a storm cloud. She and Sarah had fled to Sarah's apartment in Lakeview, a cramped but cozy space stacked with books and news clippings. The city's hum filtered through the window, distant sirens, the clatter of the L train, but inside, tension crackled. Sarah plugged the USB in her laptop, her fingers flying across the keys. "Let's see what Lily left us," she muttered, eyes narrowing as files loaded. Allison hovered behind her, heart thudding. The screen filled with spreadsheets, emails, and scan contracts, all tied to the South Loop redevelopment project. One name stood out: Victor Crow. His signature was on every shady deal. Land sales at suspiciously low prices, permits fast track for shell companies. Lily had highlighted discrepancies, her notes scrawled in the margins. Follow the money. Crow's hiding something. Allison's breath hitched. This is what got her in trouble, isn't it? She was building a case against him. Sarah nodded grimly. Looks like it. These emails show she was asking questions. Too many for Crow's liking. There's one here to a co-worker, saying she felt watched. That was a week before her accident. The word accident stung. Allison's mind flashed to Lily's car crash. No body, no wreckage shown to her, just a police report that felt too tidy. She sank onto the couch, the documents in her lap. If she had this, why didn't she go to the cops? Or tell me. She might have been scared, Sarah said, scrolling. Crow's got friends, politicians, cops, you name it. But there's something else. She opened a grainy photo from the USB, showing Lily at a construction site, arguing with a man in a suit. Crow. Behind them, a figure lurked near a trailer, face obscured. Recognize him? Allison squinted, frustration mounting. No, but he looks familiar, like the guy from last night. Sarah froze. If Crow's people are still sniffing around, they know you're onto this. We need help, someone who knows the law. She grabbed her phone. I'm calling Michael, a lawyer I trust. He's taken on City Hall before. Allison hesitated. Trust was thinning. Lily's note had warned her. Trust no one. But Sarah was right. They couldn't do this alone. Okay, but we keep this quiet. No one else. While Sarah dialed, Allison's thoughts drifted to Emma. Her daughter was at home, probably texting friends, unaware of the danger creeping closer. Allison texted her, "Stay inside tonight. Okay? Love you." Emma's reply was quick. "Chill, Mom. I'm Fina." But didn't ease the knot in Allison's chest. She couldn't lose Emma, not after Lily. Michael arrived an hour later, a tall man in his mid-40s with sharp eyes and a calm demeanor. He studied the documents, his jaw tightening. "This is explosive," he said, flipping pages. Lily uncovered a bribery ring. Crow siphoning millions through fake contracts. If she threatened to expose him, he had motive to silence her. Silence her? Allison's voice cracked. You think he staged the crash? Michael met her gaze. It's possible. No body, no autopsy. It's a clean way to make someone disappear. But this, he tapped the USB, is enough to reopen her case. We need to verify these records and build a paper trail. Allison's hope flared, but fear tempered it. What about the guy following me? If Crow's watching, he'll know we have this. Michael nodded. That's why we move fast and smart. I'll file a motion to access Lily's crash records. See what the police missed. Sarah, can you cross-check these contracts with public records? Already on it, Sarah said, typing furiously. Allison felt a surge of purpose, but it was short-lived. Her phone buzzed. An email, no sender name, just a subject, "Stop digging." Her blood ran cold. She opened it, revealing a photo of Emma walking home from school, taken hours ago. Below it, a single line, "She's next if you don't back off." Allison gasped, dropping the phone. Sarah lunged to grab it, her face paling as she saw the screen. "Oh my God. Allison, is Emma safe?" I don't know," Allison stammered, dialing Emma's number. It rang, then went to voicemail. Panic clawed at her. "I have to go home. Now." Michael grabbed his coat. "I'm driving." "Sarah, stay here, keep digging. We'll call you." The drive to Logan Square was a blur, Chicago's lights streaking past like warning flares. Allison's mind raced. Emma, her bright, stubborn girl, caught in a web she didn't weave. At the brownstone, the door was locked, the lights on. Allison burst inside, calling, "Emma, Emma." Her daughter appeared at the top of the stairs, earbuds dangling. "Mom? What's wrong? You're freaking me out." Relief flooded Allison, followed by a sob. She hugged Emma tightly, checking her over. "You're okay. Thank God." Yeah." Emma pulled back, confused. "Why wouldn't I be?" Allison hesitated, then showed her the email, hands trembling. Emma's eyes widened. "Mom, what's going on? Is this about Aunt Lily?" Michael stepped in, his voice steady. "Emma, your mom's looking into something dangerous. We're handling it, but you need to stick close for now." Emma's defiance flared. "I'm not a kid. If Aunt Lily's in trouble, I want to help." Allison cupped her daughter's face. "I know you do, but I need you safe. Please." Emma nodded reluctantly, and Allison sent her upstairs. Michael scanned the street from the window. No one's out there now, but that email's a clear threat. Crow's desperate. Allison's fear hardened into resolve. "Then we don't stop. Lily's alive. I feel it, and I won't let him hurt my family." Michael's phone pinged, a text from Sarah. "She found something," he said, reading. "One of Crow's shell companies owns a warehouse in Pilsen. Lily's notes mentioned it as a drop point for bribes. It's a long shot, but there might be more evidence there." Allison's pulse quickened. "We check it out, but not tonight. Emma needs me here." "Agreed," Michael said. "Tomorrow, we plan our move. I'll get a court order to protect you and Emma. Crow's playing dirty, but we'll play smarter." As Michael left, Allison locked the door, her eyes lingering on the USB. Lily had risked everything to expose Crow. Now, it was Allison's turn. She glanced at Emma's closed door, whispering, "I'll keep you safe, Lily, and I'll make him pay." Outside, a car idled down the street, its driver unseen. The glow of a cigarette flared, then faded, as the engine purred to life and slipped into the dark. The Chicago dawn painted the skyline in soft pinks, but Allison hadn't slept. The threatening email, Emma's photo with the chilling words, "She's next if you don't back off," looped in her mind, a relentless warning from Victor Crow's shadowy network. She sat at her kitchen table in Logan Square, the USB drive and Lily's documents spread out like pieces of a fractured puzzle. Her sister had been alive, hiding from the corruption she'd uncovered. But where was she now? And how close was Crow to silencing them all? Emma shuffled downstairs, rubbing sleep from her eyes. "Mom, you look awful. Did you stay up all night?" Allison forced a smile. "Just thinking, sweetheart. Go get ready for school. I'll drive you." She'd enrolled Emma in a temporary homeschool program, unwilling to risk her safety after the threat. Emma grumbled but nodded, sensing the weight her mother carried. Sarah's text buzzed through. "Warehouse in Pilsen's our best shot. Meet me at 10. Michael's bringing backup." Allison's stomach twisted. The Pilsen warehouse, flagged in Lily's notes as a bribe drop-off, could hold more evidence or answers about her sister's fate. But every step felt like walking a tightrope over Crow's reach. Michael arrived first, his face set with quiet resolve. He'd secured a court order for Allison's protection, citing the email threat, and brought a private investigator named Clara, a former cop with a no-nonsense air. "If Crow's using that warehouse," Clara said, studying a map, "it's guarded. Not with guns, too obvious, but with eyes. We go in discreet, photograph anything suspicious, and get out." Allison nodded, clutching the key from Lily's note. Its purpose was still a mystery, but it tethered her to hope. What if Lily's there, hiding? Clara's eyes softened. "Then we find her, but we don't confront anyone. Not yet. This stays legal." The Pilsen warehouse loomed at the edge of an industrial lot, its brick walls tagged with fading graffiti. The air smelled of oil and rust. The morning quiet save for distant forklifts. Sarah parked a block away, her camera ready. "I'll document everything," she said. "If this goes public, Crow's done." They slipped through a side gate, Clara leading with a flashlight. The warehouse was a maze of crates and rusted machinery, shadows pooling in every corner. Allison's pulse raced as they moved deeper, her eyes scanning for anything tied to Lily, a note, a clue. Clara motioned to a locked office door, its padlock glinting. Allison tried the key, heart leaping. It didn't fit. Another dead end. Sarah whispered, "Over here." She'd found a stack of ledgers hidden behind crates, their pages listing cash transfers, millions funneled through Crow's shell companies. Allison recognized Lily's handwriting on a sticky note. Proof. Don't let him win. Before they could celebrate, a noise echoed, a metallic clang from the warehouse's entrance. Clara signaled silence, herding them behind a stack of pallets. Footsteps approached, deliberate and heavy. Through a gap, Allison glimpsed two men in suits, one barking into a phone. "She's getting close. Clean it up now." His voice was sharp, familiar. "Crow. Know someone else, a lackey, maybe." The men swept the area, missing the hidden group, then left. Sarah exhaled. That was too close. "We got enough, let's go." Back at Sarah's apartment, they pored over the ledgers. Michael cross-referenced them with Lily's USB files, his jaw tightening. "This ties Crow to fraud, but it's not enough for Lily's case. We need her, or hard proof she's alive." Allison's phone rang, an unknown number. She hesitated, then answered, expecting another threat. Instead, a woman's voice whispered, "Allison? Don't hang up. It's me." The words hit like lightning. "Lily." Allison gasped, tears springing to her eyes. Sarah and Michael froze, staring. "I'm safe, but I can't stay long," Lily said, her voice trembling. "I had to run. Crow's people were closing in. Meet me tonight, alone. The old pier at 31st Street Beach. 9 p.m. Please." "Lily, wait." The line went dead. Allison's hands shook, hope and fear colliding. "She's alive. She's here." Michael frowned. "It could be a trap. Crow's desperate. Luring you makes sense." "I don't care," Allison said, voice firm. "It's my sister. I'm going." Sarah grabbed her arm. "Not alone. We'll be nearby, watching. If it's Lily, we get her out. If it's Crow, we'll have proof." The day dragged, each hour taut with anticipation. Allison told Emma she'd be late, dodging questions to shield her. At dusk, she drove to 31st Street Beach, the lake's waves crashing under a bruised sky. The pier stretched into darkness, empty except for a lone figure at its end. Allison's heart pounded as she approached, the key in her pocket like a talisman. "Lily," she called softly. The figure turned, hood falling back. It was her, Lily, thinner, her face etched with strain, but alive. Allison ran, pulling her into a tearful embrace. "I thought you were gone," she sobbed. "I'm so sorry," Lily whispered, clinging to her. "I found Crow's scheme. Millions stolen, lives ruined. He threatened you, Emma. I faked the crash to protect you." Allison's relief shattered as headlights flared behind them. A car screeched to a stop, two men stepping out. Crow's goons, faces hard. "You shouldn't have come, Miss Carter," one said, advancing. Panic surged, but Sarah's voice cut through, shouting from the shadows, "Smile, boys. You're on camera." Clara emerged, phone recording, Michael beside her with a flashlight blinding the men. The goons hesitated, then bolted, tires squealing as they fled. Lily trembled, gripping Allison's hand. "They'll keep coming. Crow won't stop." "Then we stop him," Allison said, defiance rising. "Legally. With everything you have." Sarah approached, camera still rolling. "This footage, plus the ledgers, it's a start." "Lily, will you testify?" Lily nodded, eyes resolute. "I'm done hiding." As they drove away, Allison held her sister's hand, the city's lights a promise of justice. But Crow's men were out there, and the pier's trap meant he knew Lily was back. Time was running out. The Chicago skyline glittered against the night, a beacon of resilience as Allison sat in Sarah's Lakeview apartment, her sister Lily beside her. The air was thick with anticipation, the weight of their discovery pressing down. Lily's return from 3 years of hiding, fleeing Victor Crow's corruption, had ignited hope, but the pier ambush hours ago proved Crow was desperate. His men had fled Sarah's camera, But Allison knew he'd strike again if they didn't act fast. The USB drive, warehouse ledgers, and Lily's testimony were their weapons, and justice their only path. Sarah paced, her laptop open to a draft expose. "This is it," she said, eyes blazing. "The ledgers tie Crow to millions in bribes. Lily's files show he framed her for theft to discredit her. With your testimony, Lil, and the peer footage, we can bury him." Lily nodded, her face pale but determined. "I'm ready. He threatened my family. Allison, Emma. I had to protect them, but no more running." Allison squeezed her sister's hand, her heart swelling. Lily was back, alive, but the cost of her silence haunted them both. "We do this right," Allison said. "No shortcuts. Crow goes down legally." Michael, the lawyer, leaned against the counter, reviewing notes. "Agreed. I filed a motion to reopen Lily's case, citing new evidence. The ledgers and USB are with the judge now. Sarah, your article drops tomorrow, front page. It'll force the city to act." Clara, the private investigator, checked her phone. "My contacts say Crow's nervous. He's shredding files, calling favors. But he doesn't know Lily's with us. That's our edge." Allison's thoughts drifted to Emma, safe at home with a trusted neighbor. The email threatening her daughter, "She's next," still chilled her. She told Emma the truth about Lily's return, promising to keep her safe. Emma's response, a fierce hug and "Get him, Mom," fueled Allison's resolve. This wasn't just for Lily, it was for their future. The next morning, the Chicago Tribune hit stands, Sarah's headline screaming, "City Hall Scandal. Missing Planner Exposes Corruption." The article detailed Crow's scheme. Bogus contracts laundered money, backed by Lily's evidence and anonymous sources. Chicago erupted, social media buzzing with outrage. Allison watched from Sarah's office as calls flooded City Hall, demanding answers. But Crow wasn't done. Allison's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "You can't hide her forever." Her stomach dropped. She showed Michael, who cursed softly. "He's bluffing, trying to scare you. The police are circling him now." Lily overheard, her eyes wide. "He knows I'm back." "Allison, what if he won't touch you?" Allison cut in, voice steady despite her fear. "We're ending this today." Michael's phone rang. The judge had fast-tracked a hearing based on the evidence. "We're due in court at noon," he said. "Lily, you'll testify. Allison, you're a witness to the threats. This is our shot." The Daly Center courthouse loomed downtown, its steel and glass a symbol of order. Allison's heart pounded as they entered, Lily gripping her arm. The courtroom was packed, reporters, city officials, curious citizens. Crow sat at the defense table, his polished suit and smug smile a mask. Allison's blood boiled, but she held her composure. This was their arena now. Lily took the stand first, her voice clear despite trembling hands. She recounted discovering Crow's fraud, his threats to frame her, the crash she staged to vanish. "I left to save my family," she said, glancing at Allison. "But I kept proof, hoping one day it'd be enough." Allison testified next, detailing the note, the key, the warehouse find, and Crow's intimidation. Her voice breaking when she mentioned Emma's photo. The judge, a stern woman with sharp eyes, listened intently, her pen scratching notes. Crow's lawyers spun a tale of Lily's instability and fabricated evidence, but Michael countered with the ledgers, USB files, and Sarah's footage from the pier. The room buzzed as the judge called a recess, promising a ruling soon. Allison hugged Lily, whispering, "You were so brave." Outside, Sarah greeted them, grinning. "The city's on fire. 3 council members just resigned, Crow's allies. He's sinking." But tension lingered. As they waited for the verdict, Allison spotted a man in the hall. Baseball cap low, eyes fixed on her. The same shadow from Wabash. She nudged Clara, who slipped away to tail him. Minutes later, Clara returned, grim. "One of Crow's fixers. He bolted, but I got his plates. Police are on it." The judge reconvened, her voice cutting through the hum. "Based on the evidence, I find probable cause to charge Victor Crow with fraud, extortion, and obstruction. Ms. Martin's case is reopened, and a warrant is issued for Mr. Crow's arrest." Cheers erupted. Crow's face crumpled, his charm gone as bailiffs cuffed him. Allison exhaled, tears streaming. Lily clung to her, sobbing, "It's over." Not quite. Back home, Allison and Lily sat with Emma, the brownstone warm with relief. Emma tackled her aunt in a hug, laughing through tears. I knew you'd come back. Sarah's expose ran daily updates, unraveling Crow's network. His fixers turned state's evidence, sealing his fate. A month later, he pled guilty, facing years behind bars. The city launched reforms, inspired by Lily's courage. Allison and Lily rebuilt their bond, sharing dinners, walks by Lake Michigan, and plans for a new start. Emma thrived, her faith in justice restored, sketching designs for Lily's revived planning work. One evening, as they watched the sunset from Montrose Beach, Lily took Allison's hand. "You never gave up on me. I'll never forget that." Allison smiled. The key from a note, now a keepsake, on her shelf. "We're family. That's what we do." Sarah joined them, her latest article framing Lily as a hero. Michael and Clara stopped by, toasting the truth. Chicago's scars remained, but so did its strength. Allison looked at her sister, her daughter, her friends, and felt peace. Crow had lost. They'd won, not with vengeance, but with proof, persistence, and the law.